in high definition. This is Central Coast News right now.
And TSA was running with us, and they just said, keep running, keep running. As we were running, there was probably another 15 to 20 shots that we heard behind us, and we just kept running.
A Central Coast couple talks about the terrifying moments when a gunman opened fire on the very people hired to keep us safe at airports. And right now we are learning much more about the young man who the FBI says walked into a security line this morning at LAX and then opened fire, killing a TSA agent. The first ever TSA agent to die in the line of duty. I'm Jazz.
And I'm Mark. Beginning from our Digital Operations Center, an all-day video and information has been flying in off of our feeds, and tonight a possible motive has emerged. The FBI says they have a good idea of why a New Jersey native went on this deadly shooting spree inside that airport. Authorities say 23-year-old Paul Ciancia sent a text message to his family that he was going to kill himself. That was before he allegedly carried a semi-automatic rifle into Los Angeles International Airport this morning and started shooting.
Right when I heard the shots, I looked over my shoulder and everybody was running towards me saying, run, run.
The shooting started at about 9:20 at the TSA checkpoint in Terminal 3. The gunman shot 4 TSA officers, killing one. He then moved down the terminal toward the gate area, sending passengers fleeing onto the tarmac and huddling in restroom stalls.
And I noticed he had an assault rifle, a huge gun, strapped over his shoulder.
The rampage ended when police shot the gunman, and moments before this photo was taken. As police secured the airport, the wounded were rushed to the hospital. This is believed to be Ciancia as he was wheeled into an LA hospital. Investigators say Ciancia was wearing fatigues and was carrying a bag that contained anti-American and anti-TSA rantings. He also had a lot more ammunition.
There were more than 100 more rounds that could have literally killed everybody in that terminal today.
The shooting canceled or delayed hundreds of flights nationwide. Those delays could stretch into the weekend. And late tonight, the TSA agent killed identified as 39-year-old Gerardo Hernandez. 4 others were taken to the hospital, including the gunman, although details on the injuries have not been released.
Now, we checked in with retired FBI agent Dan Payne to get his insight on how this investigation is playing out and what might have been going on in the shooter's mind.
This is a constantly unraveling scenario, so as every hour passes you learn more about it, but you've got teams of investigators scattered all over both New Jersey and Southern California. On the surface it looks like he targeted the TSA employees. However, what was the motive behind targeting TSA? In the mix was a threat of suicide or ending his life that he texted to his brother earlier before this happened. So it's up in the air what his exact motive was.
Yeah, and again, investigators say the suspect's bag had anti-American and anti-TSA rantings inside.
Oh man, I'm exhausted, anxious. We're just trying to look for him right now. I have a colleague of mine that went looking for them right now to try to find them.
Well, right now, think about this. Thousands of passengers are trying to reunite with their friends and family after being stuck in the airport all day. Many are now stuck in this airport parking lot after being dropped off by an airport bus. The problem is the traffic is so bad around the airport, their ride can't find them. A ground hold, it was put in place this morning that affected all flights leaving LAX. And for some people, their departure ticket at this point isn't even certain. So keep in mind, there may be some delays going into the weekend.
And incoming flights were actually operating on a plane-by-plane basis. 700 flights nationwide were affected. Now to this Paso Robles couple who was standing in Terminal 3, which is upstairs at the airport. Mark and Audrey Henry were in line to be screened before their flight. They were putting their personal items into the gray security boxes when chaos erupted.
We just heard like 8 shots just ring out, bang, 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 bang. And we all hit the deck, and for about, 15 seconds we were all down, and then all of a sudden everybody just started running through TSA down into the gates, the terminal there.
It was like a dream. It wasn't real. It was like a movie.
Nightmare.
It was so intense, and it wasn't normal to hear that. And so we all just panicked. We just didn't know what to do. It's just unreal right now. I'm shaking. I'm scared.
Audrey ran with just one shoe on, the other still there on the screening conveyor belt.
And now to a Central Coast connection. Of course, airports nationwide were impacted by the shooting at LAX, including those here locally.
Well, Central Coast News reporter Liberty Zabala tells us flights have been back on track from Santa Maria to LAX since this afternoon.
Passengers arrived into Santa Maria Airport safely after their United Airlines flight took off from LAX at about 10 a.m. this morning. Most passengers here had no idea a shooting had even occurred.
A little bit scary knowing that something was going on and that the whole airport was shut down. I didn't see anything personally, but one of the guys on the flight with me said they saw a lot of helicopters, so that would have been a little frightening.
Judy Duarte flew out of LAX Terminal 8, just 5 terminals down from where the shooting happened.
My daughter texted me when I arrived here and she said, "Did you get out of LA okay? Were you on the flight, or did you get shut down?" And I said, "No, I got out and everything was fine." And that's when I heard that Terminal 3 was shut down and everything was going on there.
And a United flight that taxied here at about 11:31 a.m. was delayed for about 10 minutes, but took off and is expected to arrive in LAX on time.
I think when the incident first happened at LAX, they probably did shut down the airport, but they slowly worked to open things up and get operations back to normal once the incident is considered safe again at the airport. So my guess is this was probably one of the first flights that went out from LAX once they got it opened back up.
The airport manager says passengers were also lucky United flights take off on the opposite side of LAX.
It's nice to be here, yes, safe and sound.
Liberty Zabala in Santa Maria, your Central Coast News.
So we also checked with other local airports. Santa Barbara Airport only had one canceled flight, while San Luis Obispo had a delayed flight coming in from LAX because of the ground hold.
New tonight, more than 2,000 Xanax pills have been seized, worth more than $16,000. The original tip came from a Craigslist posting online. After they received the tip, detectives from the Santa Barbara County Sheriff's Office followed up with the suspect pretending to be a buyer. The suspect offered to sell 1,000 pills. Authorities then arrested 21-year-old Gabriel Yanowitz from Isla Vista for selling the drugs. They also arrested 19-year-old Tyler Peltier of Santa Barbara for supplying the drugs. Both were booked into the Santa Barbara County Jail on $30,000 bail.
New tonight, Halloween may be over, but 200 law enforcement officers will still be out this weekend near Santa Barbara. So just last night, police made 82 arrests in Isla Vista. Several agencies, though, are coming together this weekend each night to keep the peace. Now, in years past in Isla Vista, at least 20,000 people have turned out for these big Halloween block parties.
A developing story on the suspected arson fire at the Town Center Inn Hotel in Santa Maria. Finally tonight, some of the people who were displaced are back in the place that they call home. 70 victims had been living at a Red Cross shelter after the fire on North Broadway. City officials were helping to restore the rooms that were damaged. Well, this afternoon, about 30 of those people moved back into the 2-story portion of the hotel, which was spared from the fire damage.
This has been kind of an adventure, and then it's been kind of rough too because of what everybody and I had to all go through.
As for the others, they'll be able to take refuge at the City of Santa Maria's New Love Community Center. As for the suspect seen here, Amos Andrews, the 57-year-old, will be arraigned this month, accused of using a Molotov cocktail to start that fire on October 12th. San Luis Obispo County has released a new homeless report. The county surveyed 285 homeless people and found the number who meet the HUD definition of homeless increased by 3%. There's also an increase in homeless children.
Well, now to this developing story. Just a day after Morro Bay, city leaders placed Robert Schultz on paid administrative leave, a new city manager has been chosen. The city announced Ann Russell will serve as the new city attorney. Mayor Jim Irons has still not said why Schultz was let go, but says the city is currently negotiating the terms of his contract and the severance pay. A closed-door meeting was held to discuss Schultz's contract along with city manager Andrea Luker back in September.
On to more local news this evening. A Vons in Santa Maria will be closed by the end of the year, according to the Vons officials. The store, located at 1482 South Broadway, did not meet their performance standards. They tell us that everyone working there, though, will be transferred to other locations in the district. The store is scheduled to close on December 7th. Here we go. It's Friday night. You know what that means. Friday Night Blitz. You voted for the Spotlight Game of the Week, and tonight we deliver.
On a silver platter, this week's winner, Pioneer Valley at St. Joseph. So here's our Christian Hartnett with a check presentation.
Well, the season keeps on rolling on. We just have one more week after this week, and the lucky winners for the Spotlight Game of the Week this time out is St. Joseph High School and Pioneer Valley High School. St. Joseph is playing the host tonight, and we are at their field right now. We have our two Wells Fargo representatives here to hand over the check to our two high school reps, and I'm going to hand it off to our Wells Fargo rep over here to do the honors.
Congratulations to St. Joseph High School and Pioneer Valley High School, who were voted to be featured in this week's High School Game of the Week. As part of Wells Fargo's support for local area schools, we would like to present this grant for $250 to St. Joseph High School and $250 to Pioneer Valley High School. And thank you for all you do for the children in our community.
And we like to thank Wells Fargo for being the representative for the Spotlight Game of the Week all season. We have our two reps, both athletic directors from both high schools. We have Tom over here and we have Greg. Guys, you know where the money's going to go.
It's going to go toward our scoreboard fund. So we're in desperate need of a new scoreboard, so this will definitely help us out. So thank you very much, Wells Fargo.
How about you?
This is going to our general athletic fund to offset the many costs that it takes to run an athletic program. We'd like to thank Wells Fargo for their continued support. We really appreciate it.
Well, game's about to get started here, and we're going to give the highlights for you just a little bit later on. I'm going to send it back to you.
Always love that. Thanks, Christian. The highlights tonight at 11:20 on KCOY. Norm's weather right after the break.